Hello and welcome as we are very close to completing the 15th day of May 2019. My name is Derek and welcome to the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. There's a lot of risk, there's a lot of reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. All right, then. Since we've seen it leaving the 18 and even since this down day for the most part, or really from this point in here, there's only ever really been one down day, which was here. Yeah, a little bit of a down move here, but it's been green candle, green candle, green candle over and over and over with only 43 minutes to play in this game of the day. And to me, it's a game. The price action is up 199 basis points, 2.49%. So it's 90 what percent likely of having an up day, and then that last number probably being close to a 9. It has been just a wild, wild ride. And on the single hour term time frame, attempt above, getting above here, not really, comes down to the lows. Gets above here, nope, down to the lows. Okay, above here, well, now this is hour number 5. Holding and staying showing strength amongst the 18 average of highs. Supporting this level of previous resistance. Thus, pretty much since, well, even since in here for the most part, because there's been two good corrections, it has been a good sideways bullish behavior. Market is making this nice pattern of higher lows and this general area of resistance between, well, we'll even say around 8,000 to its top at 83. Getting above that, like a lot of the other ones, don't be surprised if it's a significant move. I would not be shocked if it comes up to 83.22 and then just bursts past at 84, 85, 86 kind of behavior. But of course, the market always does what it does. And as I look at these resistance levels, or possible levels is the best way of putting it, is how do I read the story? I look at it like a poker situation, because that's what I do at the table when I'm playing poker. What did I see beforehand? What was I just told? And now I have to analyze and use whatever time I have available to me, before it's too late, that is, to make my decision. And in poker, you might have a minute or two after the person might make a big bet for you to decide to call, bet, fold, raise, or call, raise, fold, whatever. But in this, where did we come from beforehand? Well, we came from, again, just breaking this level and having a slow move to this point and a nice straight up move pretty much from this April 30th level, but no major volatility in getting there because all green candles were decently sized, but nothing in comparison or close to this day here or what would happen on the break of this resistance. So that's where we came from. So this was a statement, of course, as it was getting here, that we're at 63, 64, that we've hit resistance. Now I have to read, okay, what does this mean? I've already seen where it came from, so like in poker, what were the streets and bets beforehand? I've already seen what's before here. And as time goes on, I only have so much time to figure out possibly whatever time allocates for me. But when I was able to see how it's not finding any resist or support, not no big sell-offs in here as we're going to 68, 69. The more and more it was going up, the more and more I'm like, okay, this could be wild. And of course, I always expect faster moves in this because this is still pretty fast. But the big defining moment was its first real correction in here, and this was the time. So as far as a technical analysis concern level, you're really confident here, but as it was breaking out in the low 7,000s, you're like, okay, I'm figuring out $900, 15% after the fact, that there's a good chance that we're probably going to go from, well, at this point, you're talking about 72 high. So we're going to about 10, so 10,000 minus 73. You're talking 2,700. So at that point, you got a good ratio difference. Risk reward, you can see there's a much better mathematical chance on just the odds of the numbers that it would go down here first. But the indications here were not telling us that. And so it goes. The market keeps on making its moves towards the upside. I would not be surprised if this breaks out. Yes, it may not. And of course, I'll be looking at things like the 18. And don't be surprised if you have a fast red candle down if it breaks down, especially after showing 3, 4, 5 hours of weakness. But no, the probability odds to me seem to be very, very high that the market is going to continue to proceed higher up towards that next level at 10,000. And as far as the TUSD, USDC, or anything priced that against the Bitcoin cross, 10,000 Satoshi is where $10,000 Bitcoin is. So let's quickly take a look at that market. And it's an interesting one. And I mean, overall, right now, looking at this, this is just the reverse of Bitcoin. And in such, seeing how it's showing weakness amongst the 18 average of lows, obviously that's the opposite of showing strength on the 18 highs. But what makes this interesting is when we look at the daily term time frame. And I just noticed this today, and this happened April the 6th, so this was 9 days ago. Or, excuse me, plus a month. Plus a month even before that. So that was 39 days ago. Yeah. The low is 200 Satoshi. Okay, let's do some mathematics. And in doing the decimal for Satoshi, it is really, really simple for me. For what I do is I know it's 8 decimals. So what digit code is 200? That's 3. Well, what subtract that number from 8 is it? So a 4 digit code is 4, a 5 digit code is 3, a 2 digit code is 6, and if you're not stuck on that like single digit level Satoshi code, it's 7 decimals of zeros. So with 200, I need 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it was 200, and I'm going to 1x this to see what that would equate to in Bitcoin price. That's $500,000. So somebody bought Bitcoin for $500,000 on April the 6th, and somebody sold it for that price. Congratulations to the seller, because and I don't know how much they spent on that, but I mean it happens all the time. That was the Litecoin PAX just recently. And this is when somebody thought it was a good idea to buy Litecoin at about $10,000. No, 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 no. Excuse me, $100,000. Almost, not quite. $99,997.99. But it really looks at this 104 price and all the previous ones that this is a vehicle to emulate or work as that of a vehicle towards the U.S. fiat debt note. Because before all of this was going on, the market was just moving on its normal yada yada stuff, and then yeah, someone did that. Again, congratulations to those who sold at that point. Next up is DGB, and I'll tell you what I'm cheering for. I'm cheering for this to go up a little bit more, even break past that too, and then either continue to have another maybe 100%, 200% day after that, or retrace back lower. One of those things. I've already sold 25,000 of these today, and I want to sell more, or I want to buy more. Whatever the market does, because I sold 25,000. If it gives most of this rally back and whatever, I'll pick up 33,000, and it'll cost me less GRS, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin, as I have traded this against the ratio against all three things that I'm trading this against on the single hour term time frame. Well, it got going last night at well, we can see 1 in the morning. I was just breaking it to 150, and its bottom in here was like 126, and I was getting in around 130, 120. I don't know, it was very close, but I was buying in at this bottom. Uh, Either that is because I was selling Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash for it. Of course, I've already got those trades back, but I just want to get as many trades as possible. So however it moves, I want big movements. And this is volatility, and this is what I'm looking for. I don't get this too often with Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash. Definitely not Bitcoin against like the dollar or whatnot, or have you. This is much, much more volatile, and I like it that way. And as I look at this on a 4 hour term, this thing has just exploded large. But it's an interesting situation when you have all these green candles up and you have this one here that comes back pretty much to where it comes from. And then you have the next period that obviously 188 now, that's just fantastic. But it obviously gives it all back, the losses that is, and then some more. How much time do we have left? We're at the half. No, we're pretty much near the end. 31 minutes left on a 4 hour term time frame. So it's managed to get a lot of those right there. It comes right back down, fast move back higher. Long term, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, what would be nice is a fast move to 256. That's really ideally what I would like to see happen. It's 729 as I do it, so I would like to see 195 hit maybe at 810. And then I'm finding out by like 9:30, 9:45, oh my goodness, it's not resistance. I guess we're going to 256, maybe around 9:30 or 2 hours from now, two and a half. Again, this is just what I'm hoping for. And then we go up to 256, maybe by midnight, 11, 11:30. Not too late because I want to go to bed. And I didn't get as much sleep last night, so 10:30, 11 would be nicer. And then I'll do my other whatever trades I need to do, go to bed, and then I hope it wake up and it just pulls back to like 193. 185. And of course, maybe something like GRS goes up massive tomorrow, the day after, because that's what would be nice to see. One of my coins has a big up day one day, then it retraces, or a 2 day move, whatever, and then has a retracement move, and when that retracement move happens, the other coin I sold it for goes up. I mean, that's just beautiful things when those situations come into play. But it's just going to be adjusting to this market. Let's take a look at this against the fiat because it's got some nice, interesting setups towards it. And to do so, the best site that I can find for data amongst the list, I don't want BTC, I want USD, is against the tether on Bittrex. This is just terrible. It's not too good. But this one works out to be the best, and I don't like anything. I don't like anything about hit BTC. So here we have it. This is the daily chart. So today's session it's up to 1.48 cents, almost 1.5 pennies US, or close to 2 pennies Canadians, maybe almost two, I think. But today's session's up 25.2 and 2/3%. So big update. Yesterday's update from the 18 average of lows was up 13 and a third. But what do we see in here? Just from what we see at this point, and I want to just remove this because it gets in the way here, is the following. And it's really awesome as it is. Well, we had this level of resistance, have this level of resistance, and that's where we're back now. That's big. And whenever you can do it with any type of move, because this is pretty much now a failed breakdown. And that fast move, well, I mean, that's the bare minimum is a fast move to previous high, I would guess, but that's how it is. Now, there's more to it. This was coming up in a nice uptrend before because we were having a rising 18 when this started. So let's just scroll back to more periods, and we can see the February lows here, where it was about 4/5 of 1 penny. And then there were lows in December at about 3/4 of a penny. And however you want to draw an inverted head and shoulders pattern, it's all about what it means and what it's done. And what it's done here, when again you're looking for the story, is a lot more serious, making it a lot stronger of a situation, I feel. So within this line, which is pretty much close to the neckline was a hair below it. The original neckline was this line here. Then the neckline came in here. So this was a big level before, the 12.5 handle. Gets above it, retests this level, comes down to support, retests, comes down above support, doesn't get above the highs, breaks it. And now, of course, there's no resistance here, and it's to this high again. The overall, this is the dysfunctional left shoulder. This is the dysfunctional head, right in here. And this is the dysfunctional right shoulder. So we might have a dysfunctional fast move higher. And I don't know what that would be, maybe going to 50 cents. That would be cool. I'm not saying it would, but the pattern as it is these levels of resistance that it has faced. This was just a whatever on its way down move. Settling this level of support, coming close to it but not quite here, coming to it again. And after it had a spectacular move, it did so via that of a higher low. Retest of that level. This was a lower low to this, a higher low to this. So when I see higher low after here, after this, which of course shows that failed breakdown, back to this point. If this thing gets up to 17.4 handle, watch out. It's super duper strong strategy. As far as the weekly term is concerned, I think what might be best in this situation is to now maybe use the trading or this one here if I got better data, which I do. So then, let's do some mathematics. First off, from this move is obviously held a 38.2% area. That's just easy to tell. Yeah, maybe it pierced extra below, but whatever. I'm more concerned about what this high was. And this high was basically around 13 and a quarter. So I'm going to put 13 and a quarter as one of the numbers. So it's high divided by low. The low in here is about, we'll go 8 cents, or 0.8 cents. So it's 0080, which works out to just 80 here. So key levels is first 2.3 cents. So let's put a little. They will be super rounded, but it's probably just going to pierce above it. I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking a quarter, 2.5. But that's, and when we can see it just here, this little breakout on the weekly chart. Okay, downtrend, band flattening it. It's got above it. It's, yeah, breaking this. It's probably going to be a fast move to 23. I would like to see this happen in the next 3 hours if possible, but I mean the market will do what it needs to do. And the upward move is 45.3. I guess I could even put another digit in here since I got it. As if it matters, but heck, why not? And the next one is 453. That's easy to remember, and I didn't. And within Fibonacci analysis, and you have a move from point A to point B. Point A is this high, point B is this low. When it's ready to have its correction, if it's unable to break above the 38.2% level and it retraces lower, that's bad news. And when we look at this, it's not calculated. This point A high to point B low has its rally. It's looking to me like it pierced above the 38.2 and did not get to the 61.8. And then eventually it had one leg lower. So therefore, right now, what the market is telling me via the 18 average and how I read it is the downtrend has obviously been concluded for quite some time, but there's no uptrend. Whether you want to count those numbers as established resistance because they look too small, you almost have to given how market dynamics have worked. And as mentioned again, probably fast move to here. Now what resistance? If we don't find resistance here, fast move to the 45 handle. If we do find resistance here, I'm going to be looking for support at the 18, where it came from, all those kinds of places. And that is that's pretty much it. It's a back in here, yeah, the 61.8. If the market in a move is unable to stay below this, that means the move from high to low, the selling move, is that of a failed move. And oftentimes in bear markets, these levels, if there's going to be a very phenomenal bear market rally, that's where it's going to go up to. But if you see situations later on down the line where maybe it's not resisting, then it's exploding higher, or maybe it does resist it, and then later on, maybe multiple periods later, it gets above it, and then you can start to talk about, oh, we're previous high. And then what's the next resistance after previous high? Well, you're talking about upside areas and new levels not seen, uncharted territory. And in mathematical, the way I do it, you look for Fibonacci upside calculations. And since I've already done the calculations, what I'm looking for is the following. I need an uptrend. Point A low is this one, point B high is that one. I need for it to have a price correction with a significant higher low. Well, that's been done. Then I take high divided by low to the exponent of 1.1618, and then I multiply it by that low again. And the outcome, the up target here, will work out to about $0.75, and probably would pierce to $1 even. So that would be my upside target breaking and north of this level. And given I have 6 figures of them, that wouldn't be too bad. And my goal is to try to gain as many of these as I can by trading them with other coins. And hopefully, the ones that I trade them with will do well enough to the point that when I get to those levels, I'll have at least as many as I have now and be able to go through wonderful profit taking sessions. But for now, I just let the market do what it does, and at that time, whatever's the best thing to do, I'm going to do. And right now, that's not the time because this isn't 75 cents, it's 1.5 cents. So let's go over to my pairings. And given that I find the Nano Ledger very difficult, frustrating, multiple times used. I've worked with it 3, 4 times. Every single time has been a long, painstaking amount of time to get funds in or out of there. And I'm still going to have to do that again because there's still funds in those wallets that I'm referring to. But I like the Trezor. I like the Trezor. I haven't got the Model T. I'll probably buy it if Bitcoin prices go way up and the price of the Model T goes way down. Technically speaking, that's the way this world is as far as prices, and if you're buying it via cryptos. When the cryptos are in a bull market, way high, things are cheap. Things are deflating in price. Gold is cheap. Silver's price. Dishwasher you want to buy at whatever store is cheaper. Of course, your vacation, everything. And then, of course, during the bear market, things become inflationary and more expensive. And deflationary times live in this crypto world. Well, there wasn't much of it available in the end of 2017 and early 2018, but it was kind of fun. So it's going to be nice to see if those times can come back again. But I like the Trezor wallet as it's a very easy way for me to store coins. Bitcoin Cash I can store there. Dash I can store there. DGB I can store there. Florin, I'm actually just keeping that on the exchange. I don't really own much of it, which is the reason why. If I get to a large number, I'll figure out what to do at that point. But it's just easy, and in controlling risk reward management. That's part of the very little bits that I have on exchanges right now. GRS. I have GRS available only to sell though. So approximately 20% of my GRS are on both Binance and Bittrex collectively, 10% each maybe, and the other 80% of it is in the on one of those online wallets with the private keys and all that type of stuff. Komodo, all of it is on a wallet that I download, and you put your passwords and all that stuff in. Litecoin, all of it is on my Trezor wallet. Neo, that one is with the Florin, so because it's the same value, it's just hanging out on the exchange. Same with AidCoin, and I got TTC, but they're lower values again. Although Aid is doing okay in value, it hasn't traded much recently. It's worth an okay amount, but nothing major. And then Theta, I'm delaying it too much. I was going to do it earlier today, but the wallets were still not available for withdrawal. I got them on the Binance site, but I mean, I should be putting 80% of them on the online wallet and only keep 20% on the exchange. And they go to sell orders. I like to put my sell orders about double the price, maybe 80% higher, depending on what the good number to sell in at as. Sell in at is. And then if it's time to sell, I can do it instantly and just buy the other. With Bitcoin Cash, I ended up buying some earlier with DGB, and well, I figured, you know what, I almost have no choice but to either be stingy and have it in my hardware wallet 100% or keep about 20% on the exchange, which is what I'm going to do because it's just a 2 3 hour thing. So if I want to sell it, I like to be able to sell it instantly, kind of deal. And I like to have my funds like Litecoin. If I wanted to sell all my Litecoin in like 15 minutes and put it into DGB available in my wallet in 17 minutes, I can do that. And I have a good amount of Litecoin, not an extreme amount. I don't have double figures, I don't have four figures. So obviously it's triple, but there's a lot of people that have a lot more than me, and there's a lot more people that have a good amount lower than me as well. And within it, I mean, it's quick to put on the exchange. The markets don't, once it goes to a certain price, it doesn't fall back fast. I want to have coins available for markets that need the orders because they go up and down so fast. I want to have markets on orders because it takes so frickin' long for them to go on the blockchain. Like Veritcoin, It's a little over 1 day on either Bittrex or Poloniex to get it on that. You have no choice but to have orders on it. And I'm trading Vericoin, but against Bitcoin only. So why do I trade these against which other ones? Well, Dash Theta. I need something to trade Theta with. Dash is available. It is cheap to withdraw on the from Binance. So I can put it in my hardware wallet. And it's not that volatile, but I think it's a safer of the coins. It's not going to be likely to go to nothing or have even 8, 9x moves when the average coins have 3x moves down kind of deal. And same thing for the upside too. But for volatility, I think Theta will work up for it by having it being capable of GRS and DGB style volatility. So that is why I decided to choose Dash within it. Bitcoin Cash DGB, exact same mathematics on the whole point of it. Bitcoin Cash goes in my hardware wallet. DGB is a volatile one. Bitcoin Cash doesn't have as wild of the moves. And if I put Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin together, it's just not going to be as volatile. So that's why I don't. Litecoin DGB, well, it's my favorite. Litecoin's my favorite coin. DGB is my favorite coin for the big volatility. I think it's of all the ones that are likely to have those wild moves and be the safest. I think that's DGB. I might be wrong, but for me, that's what I think, and I know that I'm right about me thinking that. But I think it's got the best safety factor of not going down, best optimistic factor of having gains of sick proportions, and then I love how it's fast on the blockchain, especially Bittrex. Only 20 confirmations, and the confirmations, they're fast. It's like hardware wallet, push my confirm button, I can sell it in probably 4 minutes. It's awesome. I love it. GRS DGB, these are the two coins on steroids. What I like about GRS is how it's got a good uptrend. It's got so many like 80, 100, 150, 200% moves in like a 1 to 2, 3 day period over the last year or two. It happens over and over and over again. So if they do it that way, that's just going to trigger amazing orders. So I kind of want to put those two on steroids together and just see what happens at some pretty decently sized stakes, and it's fun right now. I just recently sold some DGB for GRS. Litecoin GRS, again, same thing. Litecoin's my favorite coin. I love how it's easy to trade on the market. Now for this, Litecoin on Poloniex and Binance, it's 0.001 withdrawal fee, and on Bittrex it's 0.01. And the bid-ask ratio isn't the greatest on Binance either, although it's still fair enough there. So therefore, I'll trade that nowadays anyway. Not less. I didn't trade it last week, but I'll trade it on that of Binance because of that withdrawal fee on Litecoin. Litecoin and Komodo. I mean, I could trade on either site between Bittrex and Binance, and if one site's pumping higher than the other, that's where I might have to sell it on. Like say Komodo's going up big, and one site's up like 4%, 6% higher than the other. Now the problem with Komodo is that you're gonna have to be patient for deposits. I think it's 120 on the side of Binance, and I should know this because I've only done about a million, it seems, Komodo blockchain transfers in my life. That's a sarcastic number, but the number is probably in triple figures. I can't remember how many Bittrex confirmations it has, but regardless of the fact, it's not long. It's not like 3 hours or anything like that. But you can expect an hour and a half, I think, on Binance, and probably less than that. It's not 120 confirmations on Bittrex. I would think maybe 20, 30 minutes. And generally speaking, though, if a market has a decent sized move up or down, you're gonna oftentimes going to have enough time to take advantage of the move. And Neo Florin, I was just looking at the Florin chart, and we'll go to that because I'm done with it. Neo, we'll go to both of them because it was hard for me to find Florin's dance partner. It took me nearly a full day. And amongst it, this is a weekly chart, but when you see these types of moves that it has over and over and over again, just nice, sick up and down moves. And then on the long-term time frame, how it's just doing I say a good job of holding in there. I've been liking how it's been performing the last little bit within this 18 here as well. So I was thinking, you know what? If this is a coin I gotta buy, and I need to give it a partner. It's just like back in high school, you're trying to find a date for somebody. I was that person trying to find it, and it was difficult for quite some time. I needed something that I thought had a decent chance of an up move, something of extreme volatility, and if possible, something that's easy to trade on the market. Because if you get to the point where it's just not fun, the bid ask ratios are difficult, they got automated bots, and it's just not fun trying to get a good deal, as I like to call it, because it's not a good order book, like a 200, 220 differential, like 10, 7, 5 or more percent. I want ones that are less. I want like a quarter percent or better if I can get it. But Neo is one of those ones that has a pretty good market. It has the volatility, and it has the potential, I think, for spectacular moves. Right now, just over 2 days, this thing has went from 121 up to 157. We've seen it fall here, and it's just not much of a move here. 274 down to 112 or whatever. But it has so far held pretty good amongst this 2017 low. And if it's going to be a good coin and it's not done this bear market move, after all, it's still in a downtrend. And we go down here, well, that's just going to mean the ratio is going to work as it's going to, and it'll probably accumulate more. And I invite the idea of something like this happening and then getting going after another leg lower, because hopefully, as this is happening, the florin coin will not be having, even if it does, the florin coin will not be having significant legs lower. And I could just, oh, florin went up 7% today. Neo's down 16. Okay, let's trade. Yeah, I'll do that. But like I said, even if they both go down together, it'll be like, okay, here we were at 15. Now here we are at like 11.2. Okay. Oh, if florin does its job and not goes down, the ratio will work itself out. But if it goes down, I'm going to be like, well, I guess I got no choice but to deposit some Bitcoin, which technically right now I don't have to. I got a little bit of Bitcoin on the site there, just wearing to go. I made a day trade, sold some ETC. Now I just got Bitcoin. Actually, I've got a buy order at 10,000 USDT for. I end up buying ETC on Coin Exchange at a price that was like 3-4% cheaper at the time at the live market. Sent it off to Bittrex. Took a few hours to confirm, which was fine because the market kept going higher. Then I sold it, so I got a bit more Bitcoin than I had from before. And then I put that in a buy order for TUSD at 10,000. And hopefully that bet loses. I really hope that bet loses, but if it doesn't, then I'll just make whatever small profit on that trade. But yes, if this all, both goes down together, I'll just buy. Like, okay, since to have some Bitcoin, buy both. And then they go up, then I'm going to trade the ratios. And if both go up together, the ratios don't budge much. Okay, sell the Bitcoin on both, wait and see, what do I do next? And then always adjust to the message of the market, always adjust to the situation that the live time presents itself. Only price pays in this business. You can say all you want about, oh, this deserves to be up here. Well, yeah, okay, maybe in time it will, but that doesn't mean you can sell it there right now. Or I think it deserves to be way down here. And maybe if you're right, okay, but the price doesn't allow you to buy it at that price right now. And the numbers will always work. If it's a 25% move, you're going to get the gains that a 25% gain will allocate towards you. If you sell heavy on this coin, then the other coin will work out which other way. Math will, as long as 2 plus 2 equals 4, then I like my strategy. But if there ever comes a day where it doesn't, I'm throwing my strategy right out the window, dumping it immediately. But I don't ever expect that to happen. Okay, let's go over some final analysis. Again, I made this a very long video, and this was a plan to be like 7 to 15 minutes too. I did plan on going over the coins I was going to trade. I didn't think I was going to go over for too long. Planning on talking about DGB, and it's against the US dollar. Bitcoin against the dollar I was planning on talking about as well. 183 for DGB. That's just fantastic. Ethereum is doing well too. 13. I don't got any. I just keeping it on there because it's just a popular coin and it makes for good channel content as well too. I could buy it now, considering the last time I sold it would have been like, let's go to the daily, not the weekly. It was up in this little range area in here, so it was in the 33 area, somewhere in here. So I could buy it back cheaper, but Uh, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to put these coins on those whole like my Ether Delta to stew wallets, and I could do that and everything. But I figure if I want coins of low volatility, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Doji, Dash, they all serve me well for that. So I really don't need it for that. And it's not like, oh my goodness, this is the one coin that's just going to do so amazing. It's going to leave every other one that I'm not trading in the dust. No, I don't. Maybe, but I doubt it. I mean, yeah, it could have spectacular gains. Litecoin against the dollar goes up 26 times. Yeah, it probably will. And I hope it does. Because that means all the other coins are going to go up. I like seeing this stuff like, oh, 30% up. And after big moves, I like seeing this basically have. I like to see this just have wild moves, and I like seeing that so far. A phenomenal, long-winded, long time. Basically, a little over a month of continuous up moves, and then now two very good red candle down moves. I would like to see this maybe go down to 56.17. Now, I put these fib lines in earlier. Right now, it's a pierce above. Mathematically, and this might be true when I say it for this one, there should be just as much of a chance that if this is going to either pierce above or pierce below, there's just as much chance it should be a pierce above as it is below. It's like flipping a coin. It's like a roulette wheel, red and black. It's literally 50-50. Male or female, boy or girl, obviously, same thing. There has to be an equal balance of it over a large sample size of events. Of course, with markets, how they always pierce extra up or down, that's just the way it is. And maybe this will pierce extra, and maybe this won't be support at all. For this move on the 1 hour, after it corrected through time, had to move down, came up to this level, and is in the live session of leaving it. So it's still working towards it. Right now, this move has at least given it that of a pierce extra. And one quick thing of note, how much I want to lead into this volume, but I was looking at this earlier. It's very, very interesting when you look at the volume for this, because we can see in here how we got low ass tiny not so much volume back in like the early parts of 2017 really picks in as it broke that big resistance level. I'll tell you what I mean by that when I'm done, because if something happens like resistance gets broken big time on Bitcoin, which happened a big level, and I even talked about it back then in my videos. It'd probably be on there. I'm not watching it, but if you look around the date of when the event happened, you probably see me talking about it maybe. But anyway, throwing that aside, the volume here gets significantly higher. Is there any way I can? Well, I guess it works. But I guess if I just don't have my mouse in the area, but the volume gets really big up to this 2018 high. It scrolls down, but it maintains consistent volume compared to all it had before its great volume breakout. And now, what do we see starting here on February the 11th in here? February the 11th, tremendous volume. So let's take a look at February 11th on Bitcoin, and I'll show you what I mean about the break of resistance back in the second quarter of 2017. And I want to use the Bitstamp exchange for this to do it. So February the 11th. That's pretty much the bottom in here. Okay, so let's go back to 2017 and show you what I mean. I think I'm going to use paint for this because I hate drawing trend lines on here, but this is a trend line. 100% trend line analysis. And I don't even need this. I don't. Okay, so I'm going to push print screen on my computer. Whenever you do that, whatever's on your screen will be available for paste in an image. So I can now push paste on Microsoft Paint. Push the paste button. And there we have it. So other parts of my screen. There's my video thing. So look at that. 30 minutes already. Just fantastic. Okay. So what did it do back then? Well, let's draw the trend line. Nice little logarithmic chart. Again, this is something, more traders use logarithmic than Fibonacci the way it's supposed to be calculated. But this was the trend line break right here. Because it's not often this happens in the market. Right here. So if you go back to what looks like sometime in May, When it broke that, that's when things got serious. That's when things got. And when you break a trend line, a rate, and that and to the upside, especially one that has this extreme amount of hits that this one had, that's a serious move. Which usually means one of two things. What it was an explosive move to the upside, given this went to 20,000, or usually a nice volatile a washout rally where you have like a big move above, maybe, and then you'd come back down quick, and then some sort of maybe it goes sideways, but usually it would start a bear market. So you get either the washout, well, reverse washout is usually on a down move, uh, but you just get a big move above it. Doesn't last. Support doesn't hold for too long or at all. But in this case, it got above the trend line, kept going. So it was very easy to tell as you were getting into these periods in here that you weren't getting that failed breakout on that trend line, and there was a lot of serious shit that was going to happen in the cryptocurrencies, and so be it as it went into play. So that's what I'm going to try to do is find signals. Can I get anything like this happen forward that a signal like this will happen again? Well, not really, but really, yes. After all, there really isn't any uptrend lines at all. So I can't use that type of analysis. But this thing has went straight up. So until this thing can settle down and just start to develop patterns and make higher lows and stuff like that, the only chance you got of a holy shit kind of moment is if 10,000 is either not resistance or very little resistance. Because, like I stated, I hope I lose on that bet. Buying TUSD at 10,000 Satoshi. I hope I buy it, then the next week it's 5,000 down to 2,000. But that's because the amount that I have on it right now is somewhere in the area of about 60 bucks. I want to buy $60 worth of these Treasury US notes. It's like nothing at all. But you know what? It's just like something. It's just where do I put it? Need to put it somewhere. If it goes to 10,000, I definitely would take a $60 bet for it to go lower. So that's how I look at it as. But if it doesn't find resistance there, I mean, we've already had some amazing stuff, amazing shit going on right now with this market as it is. And we might not have seen anything yet as it goes. But in trying to find stories of the market, I've talked about this before, and I know I got to conclude this video. But that's just like me to just repeat stuff I've already talked about over and over and over again. This is a significant move above this neckline. So not only has it went to the congestion area that I'm looking for, it's kind of exceeding it. So it's almost telling me early signals right now that this thing is just waiting to go off as it is again. So many reasons, like I'm stating to state, 10,000 is a high probability compared to 63. I want to sell Bitcoin for some things. I'm not going to say what it is, but, well, I'm waiting. If I have to buy lower because the price goes down, then so be it. But I'm going to try to get a better deal. And hopefully, in the next couple of days, I'll be able to make that purchase. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.